Welcome to Petty Details, where the crew gallivants down a tree-lined lane of conversation on all kinds of different subjects. Join the crew as they jump in the Wayback Machine in the quest for nuggets of knowledge. Our journey will allegedly drop some petty details on you that you didn't know you needed to know until now. Hello, crew!
Hello.
Hello.
As always, welcome to my co-hosts, Monica and Cam.
Princess Wave.
Hello.
Cam,
What?
are you ready for my joke
Oh,
that I've been
Go
holding
for
off
it.
all day?
let's hear this.
Go for it.
I've never seen you in that light. Cam got a new
No one
webcam.
has.
I know.
Yeah,
Cam got
I
a new
crawled out
webcam.
of the gutters that I was in before, and now I've seen the light. I've seen the
Damn
light.
it. I think your joke was better than mine.
Yep. I got
Actually-
a new wait, I got one. This is gonna be corny. I got a new webcam.
Hey.
Oh, very nice.
See, that one's bad, but
Dad joke.
you say it enough times,
Right.
And it's still
it
bad.
gets worse.
And it's still bad.
It's still bad. Yeah, it gets worse every time. Yeah, but
No, camera looks
so now you
good.
get to see my pretty face.
It does. Camera
Very
looks
nice.
good. Very
Mhm.
nice. Yep.
Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, so we are only wearing a little bit of merch today, which you can always
Yes.
order if you want to.
Indeed.
By messaging any of us or using our email. As always, please subscribe. But today we have different shirts on.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Hey,
Uh-oh.
hey, hey.
Uh-oh.
Heck yes.
Yes. Yes.
Love it.
Honestly, Meg, I think yours wins.
Yeah, yours is good.
Yeah.
I love my shirt. It makes me happy. I love all of our shirts though. Just so you guys know, we actually spent a lot of time trying to find the perfect shirts for you. Because there are so many choices.
So
And they're
many.
all good.
Oh my gosh.
There's a lot.
Yep.
Different
So,
styles, different like illustrations,
Oh
Yeah.
like
yeah.
realistic or kind of like cartoony. Like
mhm,
there's a style for everybody, honestly.
exactly. But
This is not our merch, by the way.
this is
Yeah,
not our
Imagine
merch.
we
No.
start selling Golden Girl merch.
We will not be selling a Golden Girls shirt unless Cam comes up with something amazing during this episode. We'll see.
We shall see. Time will tell.
Yeah. So today
The wheels are turning.
I want to talk about a show that won Emmys for Outstanding Comedy Series twice. Won 3 Golden Globes for Best TV Series in the comedy section, era, genre. There we go. There we
Genre.
go. All 4 stars received an Emmy,
Okay.
and it was also
As they
ranked
should.
as they
100%.
And it was also ranked in the top 10 for 6 of its 7 seasons.
Wow.
Wow.
What
Yeah.
years did it run?
I will tell you. So
Okay.
this show is on TV Guide's best series of all time list. Do you even remember what a TV Guide is, Cam?
Yes.
Okay.
We had was it a magazine?
It was.
Mhm.
And
As
back
well?
in the
Like
day,
yeah.
it would tell you actually what was on TV because you didn't have
Yes.
anything else that told
Okay.
you what was
Right.
time stuff.
We
was.
had
There was
we had
no
those.
streaming.
We had those.
Mhm.
We had those when I was a kid, yeah.
So what show is this? Obviously, it is Golden Girls.
Golden
Woohoo!
Girls.
If you haven't seen
Okay,
it,
now call me a what am I? Gen
I don't know.
Z? Am I Gen Z? I guess I'm Gen Z.
Maybe.
I'm assuming.
But
Sure.
this is one thing from before I was born that I know. I've watched tons
Well, I
of it.
have
I
a-
watched it since I was born with my mom, my grandma, all of the like everybody's watching this show.
It's
This-
definitely
And so
one of
it's
those
just
shows
nostalgic
that
center.
stands.
Yes. And it has, I think, transcended all the generations
Yes.
since it was on. Like,
Mhm.
Absolutely.
everybody loves the show.
For various reasons.
Yes. But if you haven't
Absolutely.
seen it or you've been living under a rock for the last 40 years,
We're gonna go ahead and remove that
Go
rock now
watch
for
it.
you.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna beat you over the head with the rock.
Right. Please just stop this episode and go find it. I think I've been watching it on Hulu for free. Well, because I
Watch
have
Yeah.
all
Hulu for
10
free, but
seasons.
yes, 7 seasons. Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Whoa,
7.
what is going on? I'm like hitting stuff over here.
Uh-oh.
But it is a great show, still holds up. But I'm going to tell you the premise anyway. So the whole premise is two older single women move into a house owned by another older single woman named Blanche, who is on my shirt. Then in the pilot episode, one of the ladies, Dorothy's mother, Sophia, has her retirement home burned down. And so she also moves in. So the show ran for 7 seasons from 1985 to 1992.
Okay.
Okay.
Prime
And
time.
prime time. Yep. And I am going to start with our players, but we're going to talk about their characters first. Okay.
Okay.
So you've got B. Arthur
All right.
as Dorothy. She is a teacher that's from New York. She's divorced from her husband, Stan, after like 30 something years, and she has 2 kids. Okay. Betty White, the American treasure,
Yes. 100% American treasure.
as Rose.
Yeah.
She's
She's
from
my favorite.
Is she?
Oh,
Me
yeah.
too.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't surprise me about Sam at all. So she's from a small town in Minnesota. She was married to Charlie and had 5 kids. Estelle Getty as Sophia, who is the mother of Dorothy, born in Sicily.
Picture this. Sicily,
Picture this,
1912.
Yeah. Yeah.
She was married to Sal and had 3 kids, including Dorothy. And then my favorite, Rue McClanahan as Blanche. She's from Georgia.
Oh.
She was born wealthy, but works at an art museum. And her husband, George, and her had 5 kids.
I didn't realize they each had that many children in the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think they ever showed up at the same time, so I never really kept track.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
But I do know they had like a couple each, but I didn't know it was that many.
Yeah,
That's
and
cool.
there are actually quite a few that just aren't ever in the series. So
Oh, okay.
They're just mentioned. They're
They're
not
just
necessarily
mentioned.
like,
Mhm.
okay. Huh. Wow.
Yep. So, as we were saying, everyone who loves the show has a character that they relate the most to. I'm definitely a Blanche. Apparently, Cam and Monica are roses.
I don't know if I necessarily relate to her the most. She just makes me laugh the most.
Yeah, yeah.
Because Dorothy,
Me and her
honestly,
got the same humor.
yeah, Dorothy is like my spirit animal. Like, I want to be her when I grow up. She's amazing.
She is. She is. They're all amazing though, like
Oh.
in their own way. So
Oh,
Very
yeah.
true.
you can't go wrong, no matter who you relate to.
Fair.
Mm-hmm. So the show was inspired by a skit that was called Miami Nice that was on NBC to promote the next year's programming. And it
Interesting.
was Doris Roberts, who was on Everybody Loves Raymond.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you ever watch that
All
show,
right.
Cam?
No, not like sit down and watch it. It played and I was in the room, but I never paid attention.
Okay, well, it was, I think, Raymond's mom, right? I never
believe
sat
so,
down
yeah.
and watched it really either, but
I mean, yeah, same thing, but I believe it was who played Raymond's mom. Yeah.
yeah, like I know who she is, but I can't remember her character on Everybody
Yeah.
Loves Raymond. And Selma Diamond, who was on Night Court, which was actually
that.
another good show.
I know. I was gonna say I love that show.
I didn't watch
They
that
started
one.
a new one. Did you notice? Did you
Did
see
they?
that?
No.
No, it's not a remake.
Anything new,
Oh,
Meg's
okay.
like, no.
It's not a remake. It's like carrying on
Oh, okay.
the story, basically.
Okay,
Like,
then
so
I don't hate it right off the bat.
yeah, and one of the characters is from one of the actors from Big Bang Theory is in it. Anyways.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Oh,
Total side
not know.
tangent.
Yeah. All right, so this skit, Miami Nice, was about 2 feisty old women in Miami. And NBC producers realized that this was like an untapped demographic. There weren't shows
Mm,
out there that really followed older women, especially single older women. So
right.
at this time on TV and movies, women of a certain age, um,
Oh,
You know what's crazy?
is they were all like my age.
They were not that old.
Uh-uh, they were
they're
not.
Yeah,
not that old.
they were our age, Megan.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, nah.
Yeah. So these women of a certain age were relegated to nice old grandmas or cranky old bats, but you didn't really like dive into their lives. They were usually like the
Right.
side characters.
Mhm.
Um, so who are they going to get to play these women? Well, they needed some TV veterans. And the first one that they thought of was B. Arthur.
Mm-hmm.
So B was born in 1922 in New York. So she is 63 when the show starts. She served in the Marines Women Reserve during World War II as a typist, truck driver, and dispatcher.
Dang. I knew she'd been in the military.
Nice.
I didn't realize it was the Marine and that she did all that.
Talk
Mhm.
about
Wow.
badass women.
Yeah, badass
Seriously.
women. Yeah. She was honorably discharged as a staff sergeant in 1945. Then she worked as a medical technician before enrolling in drama school.
Okay.
That's
So
awesome.
she didn't start well, she started in the theater, but in 1971 is when she actually started like really getting her feet wet in TV.
Oh, wow.
So,
Mm-hmm.
she's what, 49 at that point?
It's never too
Um,
late.
Yeah.
yeah. So she
Right.
got a role as Maud Finley, who is a cousin of Edith Bunker on All in the Family.
Okay.
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 Have you ever seen that show, Cam?
I've seen a couple episodes, yeah,
He's
Yeah.
but
afraid to
I
say
haven't like
no.
seen the show. No, I've seen
Okay.
a couple episodes.
I know, I'm just teasing.
Well, that's where she got her start. But that was a role that got her a spin-off show of her own that was called Maud in 1972.
Hmm.
Oh, okay, wait. Maybe I watched Maud and not All in Family.
Okay. You
Because
probably know
I
some of
I
All of the Family though, because I
I
mean,
remember it being called Maud. That's why I was confused.
oh yeah,
But
no,
it's
that's the
probably I
spin-off.
watched Maud. And yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So Rue was born in 1934 in Oklahoma, so she is only 42 when the show started.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Another badass woman, she majored in German and theater in college. And then she started
Wow.
working, she started out her work in the theater also. She then got a part on All in the Family, which led to her working with B on Maud.
Okay.
She also had a part
Nice.
on Mama's Family in 1983, where she appeared with Betty White.
I was gonna say it explains why they had such
Okay.
good chemistry on the Golden Girls because they've all acted together
They've already.
Mm-hmm.
like before in other
Yeah.
shows or even if it's just, you know,
Yep.
side parts or whatever, but they've acted together before, so that
Exactly.
makes way more sense.
So Betty was born in 1922 in Illinois. She also volunteered for the American Women's Voluntary Services during World War II, where she drove a truck.
Yeah,
She
it's
did
awesome.
radio
That's
shows
awesome.
in the 40s.
Hmm.
Then she got her own
Hmm.
TV show in 1952. She did some game shows, variety shows, and then she got a role on the Tyler Moore show in 1973. And then she was also on Mama's Family with B and Rue.
Wow.
Okay.
That's cool.
Small world.
Right. Well,
All of
small
all of
world of
their
TV. Yeah.
their
Well, yeah, that's what I
lines are
mean.
crossing. Yeah.
Exactly. Yep. It was meant to be. So Estelle
Hmm.
was born in 1923 in New York, and she was doing a lot of work in New York in the theater while she was also working a job and raising two kids.
Wow.
She finally got her big role when she was 60
What?
in a Broadway production that was written with her in mind.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that is the role that got
Jeez.
her noticed by NBC for Golden Girls.
Okay. Seriously, never
That's
too
cool.
late. Dang.
Never too late. But she's, not, again, she's not the 80-year-old person
That's
that
true.
she's playing on
Right,
TV.
right.
So she had to wear a lot of wigs, lots of makeup
hmm
to make herself look older as she was playing Dorothy's mom, but she was actually a year younger than B.
That's crazy.
That's
When you were
crazy.
saying what year she was born, I was
Because
like, wait a second.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to do the math in my head. I was
Yeah.
like,
because their dynamic even feels. I mean, that's a good actor, that
yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
that's like their dynamic on the show.
Yep.
hmm
And I don't know if I've got this in there, but I know that later on she got like a facelift or some kind of work done, and they
Oh,
freaked out because they had to do a lot more makeup on her.
Oh
they
no.
were like, wait a minute.
They're like, hold on, wait, stop. What have you
You're
done?
not, you're not allowed to do that.
Right. All right. So Betty was originally offered the role of man hungry Blanche.
Oh, I could not
Oh
picture that.
my
She would have
goodness.
she would have done it. Like she would have played it well, but honestly, no, Betty,
Yeah.
That would have
no.
been wild.
It would have.
With
Yeah.
Rue offered the role of sweet but ditzy Rose.
Oh, that one
But
wouldn't have.
if you actually want to see what this would have been like, they had played similar roles in other shows. And the
Okay.
Really?
director suggested that they switch roles,
Huh.
which was good
Give him a challenge.
because, yeah, but this was also good because B had said she didn't want to rehash their roles from other shows and she wasn't going to sign off on if that was the case.
You're okay.
Smart.
She wanted something different. Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Makes
Which is
sense.
interesting though, because she kind of plays a mod type character.
Yeah.
I could see that. Yeah.
Kind of. So,
I was gonna say I
I,
can
I
see some of
guess,
the similarities, yeah.
yeah,
yeah,
not as,
not as
um,
radical, I'd
but
say, but
like, right. Um, but that's good because, like, if you, like, let's say you do play a similar character, you're gonna associate how you're acting to that like to your old character. So it's smart to
Yeah.
switch it up because you have to basically make like everything's gonna be fresh and new,
right.
and
hmm
like the dynamics are gonna be new, you know?
Yeah. Yep. But yeah, if you want to see that, that's actually out there on previous roles that they
Huh.
played.
I'm gonna have to
It
check
was
Wow.
that
very
out.
interesting to see because I did look it up because I was like, I want to see this too.
Right?
Uh-huh.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to picture Rue. Yeah, I'm trying to picture her
Hmm.
playing a ditzy. Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
So the first season, nobody was sure that this show was actually going to be well received. It was such a new concept. The concept was a huge gamble, doing an
Hmm.
all-female cast with
hmm
older actresses who were independent.
Right.
But
Especially for the time.
but it was a
I
hit.
mean,
Yeah.
yeah, doing it now, no brainer. Like, but
Yeah.
back then it
Oh,
was still very much,
Oh yeah, this was a totally new thing.
oh yeah,
There was
uncharted
nothing
territory
like it on TV.
completely. Yeah.
Uh-huh. So the show was also very forward thinking. This wasn't about like four grandmas sitting around knitting and talking about baking cookies. This show
Mm-mm.
was
right.
showing that older women could be sexual. In later seasons, they dealt with some very big issues that nobody was talking about on TV, especially
hmm
not older
Yeah.
women.
Right.
So they dealt
Right.
with things like race, chronic fatigue syndrome, AIDS, and LGBTQ plus situations. I wanted to make sure I got that all right.
Yeah.
Um, but I was just watching one earlier today where they were dealing with Alzheimer's disease.
Oh wow.
So
Right.
Like I knew
yeah.
they covered stuff like
Yeah.
that, but it just,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I guess I always
And I
just,
think that's
huh.
why so many people cling on to it is because there is something like no matter
hmm
which episode you watch, you're gonna find an episode that you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, I remember that episode. They talked
Oh
about
yeah.
this. You're gonna relate
hmm
to it, type of thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
So,
And there's something for everybody. There's it wasn't really like these issues were thrown in your face. They were dealt with in a very normal kind of way.
hmm
Um,
Well, and it showed that,
absolutely.
there was life after divorce
oh yeah.
for older women. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like you didn't just
Right.
stop.
Right.
Life continues
And I think
and
it,
life in various ways, meaning some of them dated, some of them didn't, some of them,
Mm-hmm.
they went
right.
and got jobs or they didn't, or,
Right.
so yeah.
Hmm. I think it also like on some of those topics able to educate like it didn't make it. It was serious, but it was also like it's still a comedy show at the
Mm,
same time. So it's serving you education that you might not want to hear in a certain setting, but they're gonna serve it to you in a way that you're able to receive it, I guess, it
Yeah,
more
it's not
relaxed,
it's
you
yeah, it's
know?
not very much like
It's
it's
not as
not
such a serious topic, you know?
yeah, it's not like attacking anybody. It's not
hmm
really in your face.
Right.
It's just kind of happening around you
But
in this
right. It's still
show.
educating you
Right.
on topics that, you know, not anyone talked about.
Exactly.
And still
Exactly.
sometimes don't talk about to this day,
Right.
you
Exactly.
know?
But it
Yep.
did work. It did aim to normalize some of these
Right.
everyday topics for some people, right?
Oh
Some of
yeah.
these topics are just an everyday occurrence for some people.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yep.
working to normalize
Absolutely.
that.
And the Golden Girls really resonated with people because they put these ladies in normal situations that people could relate to. Obviously, they added some absurdity that made it all, relatable and hilarious, but
Right.
it also highlighted this chosen family idea,
hmm
Yeah. Yep.
which again was not really
Not a
talked about back then.
right. I was gonna say it was not the most common concept
No,
concept.
no. So the ladies had great comedic timing, just in general, but
Yeah.
because, as you said before, the three of them, B, Betty, and Rue, had all worked together with each other, and they had been in TV for years and years. So they had this perfect rhythm, and it said that if a joke didn't land the first time that they read it at the table reads, the joke was thrown out.
Oh wow.
Oh wow.
Which I could see because I mean, look at the three of them. Like Betty White, one of the
Hmm.
best comedic
Mm-hmm.
actresses ever. B. Arthur, same thing. Like, I mean, the three of them, if they can't make a joke work, then yeah,
It's
makes
not
sense.
working. Yeah,
Don't
Right.
force it.
exactly. So Estelle was an anomaly, though. She had never done TV, but she really had built this Sophia character. She even went into the audition as Sophia.
Okay.
So she didn't
Oh
go in
Good
and they told
wow.
her
acting.
what
That's
to do.
awesome.
Like this was her doing
Yeah.
this
She
character.
studied.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Exactly. But she was really intimidated by the tenure of these other ladies and being on TV. So she would just
Makes sense.
freeze
Oh, wow.
and she would
Oh
panic
wow.
and she would start forgetting her lines. Once she did her lines, she would nail it,
Yeah.
but she would have to write her lines on her hands, on a
Okay.
tablecloth, on her
Huh.
purse. And sadly, nobody understood at the time that this was the beginnings of the dementia that would eventually kill her.
Oh man.
But if you
Yeah.
really watch some of those, especially like the later episodes, if
Uh-huh.
she's eating grapes or
Hmm.
something, it's because her lines are on her hands. If she's got a purse in her hand
Oh,
sitting in the couch, it's because her lines are written on the purse.
wow.
Hmm.
Huh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, one of the big recurring themes was the ladies talking over some situation or issue over cheesecake.
Mm-hmm.
I love
Hmm.
cheesecake.
Yes.
But they
I
ended
love
up
cheesecake.
eating over 100 cheesecakes over the run of the show.
Oh my
Oh my
gosh.
gosh.
Yeah, which is
That's
funny since
crazy.
B hated cheesecake.
Oh
Like
no.
before, she hated cheesecake before the show
Uh,
started, or she hated cheesecake because
yeah,
of
she
the
hated
show?
cheesecake
Oh
before,
no.
and I'm sure it just got worse after.
Oh,
So if
Yeah.
you
geez.
really watch, you'll see that most of the time she just kind of pushes it around on her plate.
Hmm.
Ah.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Interesting.
So the friendship between Betty and Rue was real. They were good friends off screen. They would play games in between scenes. They would make jokes. And Betty really liked to cut up with the audience between takes, which
I
makes
can see
sense
that.
because she had been in game
Yeah.
shows forever.
Right.
She had been,
Right.
like interacting with the
She
audience.
knows how to work a crowd. Yeah.
Exactly.
For sure.
But Betty really bugged B.
Oh
They did
no.
not get along. And it ended up
Uh-oh.
becoming so normal that it was almost a joke.
Ah.
That is until Betty won an Emmy before B did.
Drama.
Yeah. But no, they
Oh no. They're like next to each other on the shirt.
Mhm. Yeah. And it was funny because like Betty would bring this up in things like
Interviews and
interviews
stuff.
later. Hmm.
Right, right.
Yeah. B also didn't care for some of the jokes that were thrown her way. A lot of them were that she was called, or what she called, big ugly Dorothy jokes.
Oh,
Oh,
And finally, she refused to do them, and she made writers change the way that they wrote jokes around her appearance because she wasn't doing it anymore.
don't blame
I
her.
mean,
Mm-mm.
yeah,
That makes me sad for her though.
I know.
Yeah.
yeah.
But this was a show that the whole family could watch, as you know, we've seen with Cam watching it when he was a kid.
Right.
Because the jokes had so many
Literal child,
layers.
Yeah.
Right. But the jokes had so many layers.
newborn
So like
baby.
it's very different, I think, if you watch it when you're a kid or
Oh,
younger, and then
it's
you watch it
For sure.
it's
now.
wildly different.
Yeah.
Oh, things were funny.
'Cause
Like when I would watch it
they-
when I was little, things were funny. I still found them
right,
amusing,
but they
but
go
for
over your
very
head.
different reasons than when I watch it now. I'm like, oh shit, that's hilarious
Right?
You
now,
Yeah.
watch it and
right?
you're like,
Like,
oh my God.
yeah,
That's funny for more reasons than I could even think about, you know? Like
yes.
Exactly.
it's great. It's
Yeah.
great.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So
That's
it
what makes it
is.
so good. And it
Oh,
holds up
Yes,
like I think it will forever hold up.
it absolutely will.
There's no
And
way
that's
it
I
what
won't.
makes
agree.
it good to rewatch after, you've seen them all
You could say
because
that's what makes it golden.
Uh-huh.
See, I can't.
oh.
I can't. I think I'm off the beat today. I don't know. I think I'm off the beat today.
You just can't force them, Cam. They just have to.
No,
They have to
Well,
happen
see that they're
naturally.
so
let them
funny.
roll.
It's yeah, it's they're so funny. It's just overshadowed. It's just it doesn't work.
Yeah, that's the thing though. Like, go back and rewatch some of those episodes because they are so
Yeah,
funny
they really are.
for different
Hilarious.
reasons now.
Yep.
Yeah, but
Hmm.
we aren't the only one who loved the show. Obviously, I mean, it's become a thing. But the Queen Mother
Right.
also loved the show so much
What?
that the cast went
Oh,
to perform a live show just for her, like line
N-
for line.
that's
No way.
awesome. That's so cool.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
that is really cool.
Yep. All right, so it
That's
also
amazing.
had quite a few guest stars in it that were
Hmm.
making their waves,
Debuts.
their debuts. Are you ready for this list? Some of these I was
Oh
like,
boy.
what? And then you remember, an episode or whatever. George Clooney,
Right.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
like a super young George Clooney.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Like,
Baby Mario Lopez.
I don't
oh
remember.
yes. Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't remember him being on there, but I'm gonna
He's
have to go
like
back now.
child.
Child, yeah. Leslie Nielsen, who
Okay.
B ends up marrying at the
Oh
end.
I remember.
yes. Yes.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Burt Reynolds, I think, was one of the
Okay.
boyfriends or something. I don't
He
remember
was. I'm
exactly.
pretty sure he was.
Yeah. Jerry Orbach
Okay.
and Quentin
Okay.
Tarantino.
No way.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah, Quentin
Huh.
Tarantino.
Interesting. Who did he play?
I want to
That's what I'm
say it
like.
was
I can't
Elvis or
remember.
something. Like there were a bunch of Elvises and he was one of them.
They, they had an Elvis one, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Where there was yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but he's kind of like in the back in the second row, but he's there,
Okay.
yeah.
Crazy.
So finally, after 6 seasons, B had had enough and she decided that she would give it one more season.
Mm.
But the rest of the cast wanted to keep going. So after season 7, they tried to spin off the show where the three ladies started running a hotel.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I do not
I remember
remember
watching the
this.
first episode.
I do not
I
remember
watched one
this either.
episode online because I was curious because I had heard about this after the fact. And I was like after I had watched them, I was like, oh really? They made a spin-off. I was like, oh cool. And so I watched it and I remember being like, oh, it's not the same. Like
Yeah,
I
it's
remember
not the
being like,
same.
oh, you can tell the dynamic is
They
completely different.
tried.
It's
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
crazy. They did try. They did
Hmm.
try.
Well,
Well,
yeah, because
in
Dorothy's mom without Dorothy.
yeah, I don't know,
Right.
it's kind of weird the concept,
Yeah.
but in this spinoff, it was also starring Don Cheadle and Cheech Marin in it.
Oh,
It's a heck of a combination.
Yeah.
right.
But
So
as Cam
random.
said, it just didn't have the same pizzazz and it was
No,
canceled after 23 episodes.
I'm surprised it made it that far.
Dang.
hmm
Right.
But the
Now I
Golden
kind of want to
Girl,
watch the 23 episodes
right?
just to
Just to see.
have that knowledge of that, yeah, of what
Right?
they did.
I believe it's called the Golden Palace.
I think
Huh.
so, yes. It's called the Golden Palace.
Yeah. So
Interesting.
Because
Golden
I think
Girls.
that's the hotel.
Yeah, I think so.
That's the name of the hotel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But Golden Girls still holds up. Storylines are
It really
still
does.
absolutely.
valid. I
Oh
mean, for
yeah.
today's.
Mhm.
And the jokes are still funny.
Yeah, they are.
Funny.
Funny.
Classic
Incredibly
funny.
funny.
hmm
Yeah.
And it has become such a classic that even Cam knows it and loves it. So,
Yep.
I mean, if Cam knows it, it's a
Right.
thing. But seriously, like, I think that it's become like in the last probably what, 10 years,
Mm-hmm.
it's become more of a
Mhm.
thing.
It has. Well, my little
Oh.
tidbit of trivia related to the Golden Girls. The first Deadpool movie, Ryan Reynolds paid out of his own pocket
That's
10
right.
grand to be able to wear the t-shirt that he wears in the opening scenes where he's delivering pizza or whatever. It's a B. Arthur shirt. He paid 10 grand of his
Oh.
own money in order to be able to
Wow.
wear
Mhm.
that in the movie. Because he just absolutely adores Golden Girls and wanted that shirt in the movie.
Yeah. Which you
Yeah.
can't blame him. I
Wow.
mean,
No. Uh-uh.
yeah.
Yeah.
We did not pay 10 grand
Crazy.
for our shirts, I can tell you that.
No. Mm-mm. We did
So,
not.
Put them
But
away.
but we do
NBC,
love
don't sue
them.
us because we don't have any money. So,
Yeah, please don't.
you'll be getting
Right,
some
right.
Amazon Golden Girls shirts because that's all we got.
Yep, yep.
Yeah, but seriously, like if you have not seen this show, you need to go and watch a show. It has something
It's
for everybody.
worth it. It is so worth it.
I think it's something like you can bring up in conversation and at least one other person will talk with you about it.
Oh
Like
yeah.
For sure.
someone else knows, you know?
Yep. It's great. So there you go. There's some Golden Girls
Petty
trivia.
details.
Yes, some
Some
petty details.
golden petty
And
details.
There you go.
as Blanche would say if she watched our podcast, stay petty, my friends.
Stay golden.
Yep.
Stay golden.
Say, oh.
All right, everybody. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.